All right, how you guys feeling? You feel that cool Caribbean island breeze?
I don't know. It's fucking cold here, so
Well,
take me to the sun.
We're in the country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so I think it feels pretty warm and tropical here.
Yeah,
Ask me, but
cool island breeze.
here we are back in North America again. I think this is our third North American country. Another saint. So one of our early episodes, we went to St. Kitts and Nevis, learned a lot about it, learned a lot of cool things. Then we went to Dominica, which I think that was our unanimous best of country so far that we've come across. So now third country, second saint country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Going into the rundown. So we got the capital. It's Kingstown, not to be confused with Kingston, Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Kingstown. So that's like
The white pronunciation of Kingston.
yeah, it's almost if you say it like Kingstown, it's
Kingston.
similar. You could get them confused. So
Kingston.
don't confuse it with Kingston, Jamaica. It's Kingstown,
Kingstown.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So this place is pretty tiny. It's about 150 square miles total. Not a whole lot of square footage here.
150 Vaticans.
Yeah, it's well,
No, it's
like a thousand
1.2. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
Good
don't know.
math.
He's the math country.
That was good math. They did it.
But yeah, definly way bigger than our last episode on the Vatican. You could fit a good amount of St. Peter's basilicas in this place, but still country-wise speaking, pretty tiny. Probably, I don't know. You could fit St. Vincent and the Grenadines all together in probably any city. So the population, 110,000. So pretty tiny. Not a whole lot of
110
110,000
on both.
on the entire country. So with this country, you have St. Vincent, which is the main island, which is like a respectable island, and then you have the Grenadines, which are all like super tiny
Riffraff.
riffraff.
Islands.
There's a few of them. I think like 9 of the Grenadines are inhabited, and the rest are just open. So
How many Grenadines?
I think there's like 30 something.
30?
Okay.
30?
But a lot aren't inhabited.
Oh,
so
okay.
hey, this could be a spot for Country Boy Island.
Yeah.
Hey, just saying.
And then we start jumping.
Now he's thinking.
Now he's thinking.
Now I'm finally working that noggin. Got it.
Just
got it
good
cranked
for
up.
something
Just
besides all these
finally.
facts.
They speak English, but also this
We
is what
speak English too.
they're Vincentian is the term you'd call people here. So
okay.
Vincentians. I think.
Okay.
So they speak a Vincentian Creole, which is just kind of like their local language, a mix of stuff, a Creole. But yeah, most like you can speak English. Everyone speaks English,
Right.
Unless you're trying to like fit in with the locals and throw in some Creole, and then they'll obviously know you're not a local.
Patois.
You're a wankster.
But yeah, it's similar to like
Or
Jamaican.
Kingston, man.
I'm in Kingstown, man.
Yeah,
God bless.
that's all it takes. And they'll be like, man, what side of the island are you from? So religion, mostly Christian, and their currency, they use the East Caribbean dollar, which I think is like a lot of these Eastern Caribbean nations all kind of use this currency.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the standard currency, which I think it's like tied to the US dollar, but
Okay. That makes sense.
physical. So the actual island of St. Vincent, it's a volcanic island. I think the last Caribbean island that we were in was Dominica,
Yeah.
which was also a volcanic island. I think it's kind of close. I forget what the whole like chain of islands is, but close to Dominica. So they do have an active volcano. I think the last time
Oh, they do. I was going to ask,
Nice.
are there any other active volcanoes in the Caribbean?
Yeah. So I want to say Dominica, it was mostly inactive, but I think this one, I want to say 2001 or something. They had like not a full eruption, but
Right.
they had something. Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Right, out.
Like it's,
But it's
my
very
home state.
very highly monitored, so they know
Nice.
when it's going to erupt. So if you're there and you're like, they'll let
I
you
do
know.
remember from a geography class about the different types of magma. Of like if it's thicker or faster running. So if it's a slow running, when it explodes, it's rowdy. If the faster moving stuff, it's more predictable of when it's going to come out.
Right.
the slower stuff like bubbles, and all of a sudden like it like blow the whole fucking volcano up.
So the faster stuff is better if you're in a
Generally speaking, it's more predictable because you know it's going to happen. But like the other stuff, the higher silicate, I think is what it was. So if it's a lower number, it's more viscosity is higher, and it can flow.
Right.
And if it's not, it's like it still has the same energy, but it's stored and just waiting until like, I don't know. So it's been a minute since I've had that class. But.
I mean, you retained a lot more than any of us have.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
I don't remember shit about lava flow.
we're gonna
Yeah,
Don Johnson, ACC.
Vincent.
if you're on St. Vincent, there's the volcano. I feel like most of the population and the land area is on this one island. So all the other ones, like the Grenadines, are super tiny, but yeah, physically it's tropical, volcanic. You know what to expect. Google it.
I feel like it's like that black and yellow. You know what it is.
Yeah, there's not going to be any surprises here where you're like, oh wait, there's a plateau or a butte here. No, physical geography. There's maybe some hills, a volcano. They do have a black sand beach, which looks pretty cool.
Cool.
So most of the beaches are regular, I guess, but then you have this, maybe a couple black sand beaches, kind of change the vibe up a bit if you want. But a lot of the
romantic beach.
Yeah.
a lot of the like tourism here, it's very almost like Dominica, where it was like very like ecotourism driven versus
Oh, interesting.
There's not a whole lot of like big, I don't know, big resort type places. It's kind of like smaller hotels, smaller things. And on the Grenadines, I think that's where you get on these like kind of like private islands almost that have a handful of bungalows or something. It's not like high rises where you're hanging out or anything. So that's the physical. So going into the history, so I think it was one of the first places that Columbus went, but I don't think he like settled there. I think he kind of skipped it. It was just like I don't know, just another island for him, I guess. But
Just another notch in his belt.
Probably.
You dirty dog.
But yeah, so I think traditional history, I don't think there's anything too crazy here. Just people settled, people left, some people stayed. But one of the things, so that the Garifuna people it's like a ethnic group that were descendants of, it's like a mix of Africans and indigenous Caribbeans. So I think Dominica, we talked about, it was one of the few places in the Caribbean that has like a indigenous group that's been there for a long time. I forget what they were called, but I think this group is kind of like that, but they're more mixed, but they've been around for a long time, like hundreds of years. So this is like their home island, and they're spread out around the Caribbean. So there's other places like Belize and Honduras where they have populations of this ethnic group, but I think this is like, outside of like people of African descent, European descent, whatever, like, they're considered their own group. So the shout out to the Garifuna people.
Garifuna.
So yeah, so I mean, I think history, it was English colony for a while, and then I don't know when they got independence, but I would guess
1975.
The 70s, where we say every one of these countries became a country. I don't think they had any, I don't know. A lot of these had like French or Dutch. I think this one was mostly English. But yeah, so one of the other, I guess, kind of cool facts with this place is it was the setting for Pirates of the Caribbean. So this is where it was filmed. I guess there's still like sets, or I don't know, old things that were still there. So hey,
Like
if
the
you're
colonial town stuff and all that, like all of it.
I think the first one, at least part of it was shot here, like some of it, but I don't know. I haven't seen that in so long, so I wouldn't even remember anything. But
As a Floridian that lived near Disney, we watch Pirates of the Caribbean like once a year. It's like
we watch it every day, dude.
actually every Thanksgiving. No, I'm kidding.
You say as a Florida man, you can identify yourself. It is, you know what? It's a great movie, and I feel like
They were good movies.
like
At least the first one.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
the
first
second
one was
one,
good. After
whatever.
that, it started getting just kind of whatever.
Yeah. But like seeing Pirates of the Caribbean come to life, like as a little kid, and you're like,
Yeah.
yo ho.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
You can thank that all to St. Vincent.
St. Vincent, yeah.
and the Grenadines.
And Disney.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah. Disney a little bit, but I give most of the credit to St. Vincent and the
Yeah.
Grenadines for
And Johnny Depp.
providing a place.
And Johnny Depp.
Food and drink. So one of the big things here is breadfruit. So that's like a staple with a lot of the meals.
What is that like?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it does
So-
sound good.
I think it's just like a
Carb me
starchy fruit. But apparently it's not even from this area. It was brought in from I think like around the pirate era.
Yeah.
'Cause, but I think it was just like a fruit that was traded from Asia and then it made its home here. But yeah,
Must have been pretty sweet back in the day if you wanted to just like biologically like just fuck a region up, you totally could. Like there was no customs of like, oh, I'm totally gonna plant this shit here. It's gonna be hilarious. I love it. It's such a tasty.
yeah, you can recreate a whole entire island back in the day. I mean, I think one of our more recent episodes was Mauritius. We talked about the monkeys that were brought in and just ran over the island. And it's like, yeah, you could do that back in the day. Just
Bring monkeys.
bring monkeys, bring some smallpox, and it's all yours.
I read a side note. I read a small article or a part of an article today about the fact that you can't get West Coast oysters here in Texas because they are so like what is it called? Invasive, like to the Gulf Coast and the East Coast oysters or whatever. There's fear that they would take over the entire population. So you cannot. It's illegal to get Pacific Coast oysters here in Texas. I did not know that.
Imagine getting busted for that and going to jail. It's like,
Dude, it's
doing
apparently a
5
real
years
thing.
for West Coast oysters.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
So
hard to
again,
look tough
yeah,
in the
you can do
shower,
anything.
when you're in for oysters. They might be getting up in your oyster.
Possibly.
Use a little more gangster before you go to jail for it.
But just bring anything. You could bring any whatever.
Yeah.
It's just there.
You could bring in a mosquito and it'll overrun everything.
Yeah, like that. Or
This rare pet mosquito that I brought from the South
these are
Pacific.
the biggest mosquitoes I've ever seen.
I put it in a jar.
Just had it on my arm the whole time.
Let's take,
Let it
let's
loose.
take this thing to Florida.
God.
Unlike some of the other Caribbean islands where, I don't know, it's more touristy. Like this place isn't very touristy just because it's a little more isolated than some of the other islands. But I think when you're here for like the biodiversity and the nature. It is very well preserved because they don't have a lot of these like big tourist spots. Like a lot of the jungle, the hiking, everything is very pristine. I think similar to Dominica, where we had said that's like kind of like the outdoorsman's Caribbean island versus
a trapper's paradise.
Or if you like getting your boots dirty and walking up a mountain or something, then this is definitely the place for you.
Cool.
Of course, there's snorkeling, scuba diving. I think the Grenadines are like pretty well known for it. So
Still don't have my scuba license.
No, I'm gonna get mine too.
really, I got mine 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Shit.
Fuck.
No, but I think so when you go here, you can either stay on St. Vincent, see the volcano, do some things, or go out to the Grenadines and kind of explore a little bit more. But yeah, that's kind of what you're doing here. It's a lot more nature activities than just sitting on a beach with a
not a ton of
Pina
resorts
colada.
and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
and they do, but like a lot of these islands on the Grenadines, I think they're like it's more like a boutique hotel where they have 20 rooms versus
Yeah.
here's
Yeah, that makes
here's
sense.
me and a family from South Dakota. It's like it's more like you have to kind of seek it out.
It's not where we're not doing our next Fire Fest,
It's not a party island.
I don't know if it's the time change or the starting to get cold, but man, I've been fiending for like a hard ass tropical drink and a coconut recently. So I don't know, could I probably get one in this place?
So if you like hard ass drinks, so this place is actually known for having the highest proof rum in the Caribbean. So that's like one of the things that they're kind of proud about is like, it's like, I forget what type or what the rum is, but it's like 80 proof or 80%. So it's like
Damn,
moonshine.
that's intense. Because Sailor Jerry was like 50 proof, right?
Yeah.
Or
Was
100
it?
proof. I'm sorry, 100 proof, right? So,
How does that work?
So, yeah,
Is
so this is like-
50%
no, it's
or
double.
something like
You
that?
just double the
50,
percent.
50, yeah. So
it's 80% is like 160 proof.
because it was proven
Right, right,
50%. That was if it was flammable, it was proven 50%. Like they would
Yeah,
light
yeah,
on
yeah.
fire back in the day.
So it was
'cause-
like Everclear.
Yeah. So it's basically like an Everclear rum, but it's one of their claims to fame is like, we got the strongest rum in the Caribbean.
Damn.
Maybe not the best rum, but they have the strongest.
I'm sure it's not good.
I don't know. I feel like once you get past 60,
For six
Percent,
rum cocktails, you're good.
well, yeah, I'm sure if you're mixing it, it's
Yeah, but a lot of rum is 35%, right? And some
Is
is
it?
40.
I was
Yeah, a
trying
lot
to
of rum
remember.
is 35%, some
There's
is
so much
40.
fucking sugar.
So if rum is over 40%, it's strong. So I think for Sailor Jerry it was like 45% or 50. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
When I had, well, you should drink a lot more. I'm like, damn, give me that Sailor. And after a while, I was like, no, you probably should just stick to Captain Morgan.
Probably one of those hangovers. or some
yeah,
shit.
it was really had a really rough
yeah, it's
drinking
not like that
period.
extra, like
It's not like premium
15%
It's not
gonna-
premium gas in a race car or some
Yeah.
shit. You know, I don't know what to tell you. Like, things don't turn out better because I'm drinking a higher percentage liquor one night. Never, ever. I don't know.
yeah. Yep.
I never know.
It's,
Like,
it's
I
the
want a
old-
goddamn
oldest
tiki
trick.
drink now. Is what I want. Like, let's
I
go.
want a flaming Dr. Pepper.
Well, with the drinks here, it'll definitely flame. And
Nice.
yeah, it's one of the things they're known for. One of the other things, I guess, with the people here, they're known for being like very resourceful. And apparently because of the volcanic soil and stuff, like their houses are very sturdy compared to other places in the Caribbean that, I don't know, might use like wood houses. Like I think they use the volcanic soil as like a
Interesting.
mortar.
Okay.
So, and I also heard somewhere where like if you go around the Caribbean and there's like construction workers, most of the time they're going to be, what do we call them? Vincentians. So like they're kind of like the construction workers of the Caribbean. Where like they're real resourceful. They use what they have, but they know how to build some stuff.
Nice.
Not big hotels, but if you like a nice cabana or something,
That's all I
you're
need.
not going to get blown
That's all
away
I
in a
want.
hurricane. It'll be sturdy. We can verify that. So what are you going to do once you're here? Well, other than we already said
Binge
hiking.
drink on rum.
Yeah, we're drinking the rum.
All right,
What is
so-
the name of the rum?
I don't know, but I just
We'll get it. We'll get it before this airs.
I kept seeing
Hey, you
that.
gotta wonder if it's legal here somewhere. We can probably get it.
CountryBoyz always try
For the next,
local liquor.
the marathon episode or whatever that we do, like we
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
have some of that. Yeah,
The best of.
yeah, best of.
A
Yeah.
2 hour 2 hour episode.
So I see Sunset it's called Sunset Very Strong Rum.
Okay.
So maybe
Very
that's
literal,
like
very literal.
their brand, but yeah,
We're definitely
84.5%. So I was
Jesus
even
Christ.
Damn, Gina.
dude. That is some moonshine.
That is-
That'll
yeah.
fuck
So
us
it's
up.
basically just moonshine that
From sugar.
they
When we drink that, we're passing out wherever we stand. Like that's
Yeah. So once you're here and you have a couple of drinks with this rum, what are you going to get into? So they have the oldest botanical gardens in the world. I know you guys love botanical gardens.
big botanical
gardens.
guy.
So much so that I've still never been to the one that are here.
Yeah. Well, you're just waiting for the right time. But it's been around since 1765.
Wow.
Yeah.
So oldest, I think, in the Western Hemisphere.
Nice.
So I'm sure there's
Right,
one
right.
some other place, but
China.
yeah. So the volcano, it's La Soufrière. I don't know, some French name.
I hope
but-
this comes up in Jeopardy and I'm like, which country is the volcano Le Soufrière located?
You'll know it. And you can actually climb up there. You can go around. They got waterfalls here, so you can hike around, see some waterfalls,
Nice.
see the volcano.
How far away are taking little water taxis, the other Grenadines? Is that
I think you can take boats to some of them. I think it's one of the few Caribbean islands because they're more spread out. Like this is one of the few places you can actually boat to some of the islands.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of unique. Where like, unless you have like a yacht or something, but I think it's pretty accessible to get to some of them. Some you might need to take a small plane or something, but
Nice.
yeah,
I don't think I would go to all of them. Just curious. I would like to go to some of the Grenadines.
Yeah, I feel like
is that where the drink? I don't know if we're talking about this, but the Grenadine juice, is that where, does it have origins, this place? Or do we not know that?
I don't
yet?
know.
Okay, well, that's question mark there.
Yeah.
Just curious because I don't know shit about the history of Grenadine.
He's got the iPad now. He can
Yeah, I know.
Google shit.
I can give I can give you the log on to my Wi-Fi.
So yeah, I think it's just happens to be the same name.
Internet.
I don't think it's from there, but hey, I don't know. It is popular in a lot of tiki drinks, but tiki drinks are just a like representation of like what people thought foreign stuff was back in like the 30s. So who knows? But I don't think it's from there, and I don't think.
Do you feel like those tiki drinks were also based on like things in the South Pacific more than the Caribbean?
Yeah, well,
Because that was more foreign to those people. Like
the whole tiki thing was just like,
dude, tiki culture is built on a lie.
well, I mean, it was just like a foreign place, but it was like a mashup of Caribbean, South Pacific, like. They just kind of made up this
Sure.
like, oh, it's a foreign.
It was like
land
the Chicano term of that part of the world. They're like, I don't know, this just, we'll call it tiki culture over there.
Yeah. Well, no, it really was because it was. I think it was after World War I. They like it's when all these like tiki bars started popping up, and they really did.
World War One.
Or it was after, so like the 20s, like 30s.
Yeah. No, time wise, I guess I didn't think of. Yeah, that's interesting.
But I think people just like
What a time to be alive.
I don't know why I would have always assumed it was World War II, like when there was
me
war in the
too.
Pacific and all the Americans coming back from the Pacific.
that might have been when it got popular, but I want to say it started like a little bit before World War II. But
Interesting.
The whole thing was
That's interesting.
it was just like, oh, a foreign land, like a hidden temple, but it wasn't specific to South Pacific or Caribbean. It really was like a mashup of both because it's rum, which is from the Caribbean, mixed with like kind of Polynesian style or whatever. But
Interesting.
yeah, it was just a made up thing that people started doing, and they're like it's not specific to any region, and there's no like none of the drinks
Right.
are or anything. It's just like a
I need to listen to that origin story in the bathroom at Tiki Tatsuya next time I'm in there. Like,
yeah.
what came before 1992? Like, what?
I don't know if you can get a lot of tiki drinks here, but I think you can get some high proof rum, maybe with some grapefruit soda. I feel like that was a drink in St. Kitts, was like high proof rum and grapefruit soda. So
Healthy.
Sounds good.
maybe
drank
have
that
some of
one.
that there, but
Sounds good.
A little grapefruit, dry out the sugary rum.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good.
But I think with this place, it is more of like a fancier destination where it's expensive to get here.
Right. Like
Once you're there, like
Turks and Caicos type
it's not,
of deal.
there's not a big ass hotel where you can go with, your
Right.
family. It's like you're staying in like a remote hotel. You're paying way more than, I don't know, you would at some of the other islands. So yeah, not a cheapskate's place to go by
Right.
any means. So
What are you talking about? We're all loaded here.
yeah,
we,
well,
make tons
we
of
can
fucking
go
money.
here, but our viewers can't. I mean,
we can make tons of money.
So yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot else to it. I mean, I'm sure there is, but just from the research I've done,
Yeah.
There's you got your main island, you got your volcano, and you got your Grenadines.
I feel like the Country Boy show, it's like an undiscovered gem, and then once it gets discovered and we have all this money coming in, we go to all the countries, we'll redo them all of like, well, we've been to
Yeah,
St.
do those
Vincent,
said.
and we were wrong and very ignorant on a number of things. We're going to recorrect this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
we'll just impose
Country Boys.
new
Boys.
facts. We'll just dub over what we said on the original episode.
Remix.
There you go. We'll dub over every episode that we've ever done
Every
before.
episode.
So yeah, I don't know. I think
the entire thing.
I think we have a good impression at least of what is here. Caribbean island.
The Magnum version of rum in the Caribbean. You're not getting anything stronger or bigger than what they're serving. So
Yeah, and you're going to be in a
yurt.
sturdy,
A yurt?
sturdy
Fancy
house.
yurt. Oh,
No,
sorry,
volcanic.
house with volcanic.
Volcanic.
Yeah, that's right.
Think of the Three Little Pigs, but building with stones built of volcanic
You can blow
ash.
through this house, but it won't go down. Not gonna.
No.
I think the other thing to point out too, which again, I think we talked about on St. Kitts and Nevis, but they're big into parties, like a lot of festivals, a lot of.
You didn't tell us any
You
of that
didn't?
shit.
No, you didn't
No,
say any
you
of
didn't
this.
mention that
No.
shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've already said it.
Before I felt like
Dominica,
kind of
St.
boring.
Kitts.
Like we're only going to Dominica, but now you talk about
Yeah.
parties. Like
Yeah.
Well, we love Dominica. That was our top of our best of country.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
it's the same vibe. I don't think there's as many as.
eventually, we're gonna have to rank these places.
I hope the people in Dominica know how much we care about them and how much we're pushing them.
I don't know that they found out yet.
Yeah,
We
that's
should-
true.
We should
We're
promote Dominica.
a buried gem to the.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same type of vibe. I just feel like with this place, and I'll just say, compared to some of the others, maybe a little bit less appealing as far as like what there is to do. I think there is a lot to do, but I don't know. It's not as touristy, I think, for a reason for this place because it's out of the way.
Just another Caribbean island, kind of. I don't want to say just another Caribbean island, but you know, like
But I think
they're
it's
very
probably-
similar. Yeah,
It's probably a little more expensive than some of the others, maybe.
right.
For a visitor,
True.
because you have to go out of your way. You have to have transportation everywhere.
Yeah, I think it does get. Maybe we'll review this in the last segment, but to me, it does start to get one of those things where, like, if I had unlimited time and not unlimited money, but a ton of it, you have your own boat.
We will.
Yeah,
eventually.
we will. I would make my way here. There's no reason I wouldn't. But other than that, like, I'm gonna go to Dominica. I'm probably gonna go to Cuba. Probably go to Jamaica.
Sure, yeah.
Probably gonna go to like Aruba. You know, some like staples maybe first. I don't know,
Right.
and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to do here. I think it's probably one of those ones that's like an undiscovered gem where once you go there, you're probably like, this is awesome. But for right now, I don't know. There's just compared to, and again, we've already been to 2 Caribbean islands that might be a little more appealing. Like I think Dominica had a lot of cool things, and again, it seems like Dominica, but I don't know, just not as much sticking out for me.
True.
So I don't know. I'll make my verdict. I'm going to say no.
I'm not going, so I can't say no.
I'm saying no for now, but I need to be convinced that I need to be convinced to go here versus
Again, I'd have to have a
Dominica.
reason to go there. It would, you know, it's one of those islands that sounds like ultimately like if it was on a cruise itinerary and you were doing one long enough, like
right.
yeah, I'm gonna get off on the island. I'm not gonna hang it on the boat for that kind of thing. You know, I'm not gonna pass it up.
But I do think it becomes those things where, like, if the flight there takes 20 hours because of all these crazy layovers, you know, because it's not a very like destination place, or only certain days a week you can fly in and out, which is fine, but it's not going to be
It's
the
more to
island I
consider.
go to for that. Like, there's going to be a different one. And,
Yeah.
and again, maybe there's something we don't know about. They don't want us to know about.
Yeah, and maybe they're doing a good job of
Gold.
And I do think it is like
I mean,
it is one of those places where you could probably have a whole island to yourself almost,
Right.
which is cool.
Which
but
would be awesome.
there was nothing sticking out as far as like Dominica. We had Champagne Bay and we had all these like cool areas where I'm sure they're here. It just, hey, you're doing a bad job, internet, of getting it out to the people.
This gets to one of those questions of whether or not we never really set a criteria for what it means to actually decide to go there. Like, is this a full, we're paying a straight direct, the most direct route to get to this island? Would
as
we
quick
do
as
that?
possible.
Yeah. Would we do that? Would we go to
Right,
this island
sure.
and this island alone?
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of those things like, probably not.
I think too, for like vacations, it's like how much time I can take off has a huge difference on like where I'm going to
Sure.
go.
Yeah.
Because if like I have 5 weeks off and I have like I'm really badass and I have a bunch of passive income coming in, I'm like, awesome. Yeah, I'm going to stay in the Caribbean and we'll see where I end up.
Sure.
And because I'm sure taking boats is way more like reasonable for once you're in that area. If you have time, I'm sure you can get around. So if that's the case, yeah, I'm going to go. But if it's a single trip, I do not see myself going here.
Right.
But it's a nice flex because no one knows what it's a very like, I don't know how many backpackers have the St. Vincent one checked off.
If you can own
there's
property
that,
on the
you know?
island, like who fucking knows?
Yeah. And I mean,
If things are available.
you could buy an island here. Apparently some American couple bought an island for like next to nothing. And then they created
CountryBoyz
a resort.
Island.
Yeah, maybe it is here.
So it could be here. And
I'm about that.
maybe, yeah, there's
I
just
mean,
not
now that Epstein's gone, maybe we could step up.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little island over there.
Not all that. If you could afford to buy a piece of property that you could then rent out to, even at most break even.
I feel
Or
like
at least
saying
break even.
Epstein in our episode
That
will
would be
help with
pretty
the
sick.
algorithm because all the conspiracy people, we pull them in. They don't know we're pulling them in. We're like, it's nothing to do with.
we
Like,
have the power.
Hey, he didn't hang himself, did he? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, this place could
Or it
be
could
a
be the
super.
next Guantanamo, Jason.
Yeah. Country boys are open top.
Where was Epstein's Island? Like geographically?
Nobody knows.
Dude. Honestly, I don't even
I think
know.
he had a couple.
I feel like it was the Virgin Islands, but I cannot.
That's
for the
something
life of
just
me.
perverted and youth.
I mean, I know, but I mean, there's a lot of them. I feel like it was, but I don't know. I actually
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
I never thought about like.
I remember a tour that we went on when we were on St. John's. I think I'm gonna fuck this up, but I remember a tour where they pointed on the other side of this like cove, and they're like, Bill Clinton owned a house over there. I was like, okay, this is way back when. So I mean, I don't know. I get the feeling it was like Virgin Islands or something.
he
Like
called
Yeah,
it No
that
Hillary
sounds about
Island.
I don't know.
You plead the case for this place because it sounds great, looks great. Like, yeah, would I go here just as an island? Of course. But look, we have a standard here on Country Boys. We've
No,
already
we
been to
don't.
Dominica, and
You
hey,
have a standard.
Dominica was our favorite. So I'm comparing it. That's my benchmark is
Sure,
Dominica.
fair.
That's fair.
I feel like St. Kitts St. Kitts was another one where it was like, yeah, it looks amazing, looks great. But going there just to go to St. Kitts versus another country, it's a toss up.
I feel
And
like
it's not I'm not a hard no on this place. It's just, hey, for the sake
you
of the
know,
show, I'm saying no.
if your wife had relatives there, you're gonna like get hooked up and pay for housing. Yeah,
Just throwing it
that
out.
changes.
Variables.
You know, a lot of things change the situation quickly. So don't think we're being too harsh because it's just
No.
we're just simple country boys.
Yeah, we're giving our opinion from our hours of internet research, our days and days of
Or not for some. For some.
Just research.
my 50
Our
hours spent
Possible
nonstop.
memory of said research.
No, but seems awesome.
I'm in.
Still saying no. All right, so you're the tiebreaker.
Are you in or not?
He's in?
No, I'm out. I mean,
Oh, all
I'm
right.
like, I would. I don't. I
Keeping
mean,
up my streak of going everywhere.
Jason's taking a heel turn for
I
the.
mean,
No, I said one to no. I said no to one.
I think you said no
it's
to
not to say I would go there.
Equatorial
I totally.
Guinea or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I totally would go. I just mean that like you bring up some compelling arguments with this, Dominica or St. Kitts.
I'm a sucker for a view. Like whether that's a fucking ranch in the middle of nowhere or a fucking island. Like,
Hey, it's
dude,
fair.
infinite
and
infinite ocean around me.
The view here is great,
awesome.
and one of the things here too, the island of Saint Vincent, I think it's like right where the Atlantic and the Caribbean meet. So there's some sort of
right.
like I don't know,
That's
power
cool shit to
viewpoint
me.
where you can see both sides.
yeah, that's
Nice.
cool shit to me. Yeah,
Which again, I would go here
island
for the sake of the
boy.
show, though. I think Dominica takes it for me as far as
It would be
Fair
kind of
enough.
cool to go pee in that area where it's like you're peeing in the Caribbean
on the
and
top
the
of the
Atlantic.
volcano and just
And you're peeing in two bodies of water, like big bodies.
Big bodies.
yeah. All right, well,
Well, that's that.
Where we going?
we're at
next?
episode
Yeah, where we
33.
going?
What were we going to 34? So we were in Europe. We were in
Spin the wheel.
Asia or Africa? I feel like that's our next. Asia or Africa is our
we still got a lot of African countries. So yeah,
probably
and
Africa.
probably a lot of Asian countries too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gotta be one of the two.
we're probably good on islands for a little while.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe we'll go somewhere inland Africa.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right,
Africa.
sounds
All right,
good.
we'll see you.
See you in Africa.
See you in Africa.